In the 7.5 ready, we're going to be looking at transformations of lines and how that ties to the tables with the equations. So to begin with, the first part of this ready is very similar to the 7.2 ready. You may want to go back and look at that for how we did it. That the idea is that we have these translations. We're trying to describe what the translation is, specifically which direction and how much. And then we're going to figure out what the equation of the pre-image and the image are. Now keep in mind, the pre-image is always the original. It doesn't have the primes. Whereas the new one, the image, will have the primes. And that's how we'll distinguish new from old. So if we look at this, we see two lines in number 1. Which one's the original? Is it the top or the bottom? Well, the bottom one is the one that is just line MN, whereas the top is line M prime, N prime. That's the new one. So the bottom one would be the original pre-image, and the new one is the image. So looking to go from that pre-image to the image, how would you describe the translation? How much and which way are we going? Well, to go from the pre-image to the image, we're going up, and specifically, we're going up 4 units. So we would say translate up 4 units. Now, to write the equations, we're going to need the slopes and y-intercepts, or a slope and a point. So I'm looking at it, they have clean y-intercepts, so I'm going to go ahead and use slope-intercept form. So if we look at the first line, we can see that's got a slope of 1/3. It goes up 1 and 3 to the right, and then repeats again. And has a y-intercept of 0, -2. So we can write an equation for that pre-image as just y equals 1/3 x, and then -2. Why don't you try the next one? What would its equation be? Well, it has the same slope. The y-intercept is the only thing different. So here, the slope is still 1/3. It's a translation that doesn't change orientation or the tilt. But the y-intercept is now 0, +2. So that equation would instead be y equals 1/3 x plus 2. Now, by translating it up 4 units, that's taking that y-intercept and just adding 4. What was -2 plus 4 becomes the new y-intercept of +2. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing for the next set of problems for 2 and 3. When we get over to numbers, problem 6, it's a little different now. On this one, after doing these equations and seeing how the translations work, we're going to look at this table and see if we can match. Now, one thing that's going to stand out in this table is all of them have the same rate of change. They're all going down by 2s. So that's not going to really help me to distinguish which is which. Because if you notice down the equations, all of the equations have that -2 slope. So instead, if they all have that -2 slope, let's look at a coordinate. Let's pick a point on the table, and we'll match that point on the table to the point that's given to us in the equation. So, for instance, let me just take one of the equations. Let's take letter C down there. If we look at letter C, the coordinate for this point, or in this equation, would be 2, 8. But this is written in point slope form. It's saying it's got a slope of -2. And it should be x minus x1, which tells me that that x1 value is going to be 2, and the y1 is 8. So again, that point is 2, 8. So do we see a table that has that same coordinate? Look up top. Which table up top has a coordinate that would be 2, 8? Well, there it is. It's got to be this table. This one has the coordinate that's going to be 2, 8. So if we look at this, we can tell that the equation for C is going to match 2, or table 2's equation matches equation C. Let's try one more. Let's do letter E. For letter E, what would be the coordinate that's given in this equation? Well, it should be x minus, and it's not. That tells me that the x value is -1. So the coordinate would be -110. What table has the coordinate -110 in it? Ah, there it is. It's table 4. Table 4 is going to be equation E. And you're just going to do the same thing for the other ones. Good luck on the rest of the ready.